Let's have a look at some tips that will help you take notes during the interview. So first of all, I would recommend to use a notebook or paper and pencil and not a computer. In this way, you make the interviewee more relaxed. Some people feel uncomfortable when you are typing something on the computer. That's one thing. And the other thing is that when you are writing down your notes with pen or pencil, you have more time to engage with the interviewee. I would recommend also putting in your notes all sorts of numbers in that interviewee is quoting, especially when it comes to the size of the market, KPIs, drivers, numbers of people, the margins that he thinks they've got, and any other drivers, KPIs that he is mentioning. This will enable you later on to compare your notes with what you have learned during the preparation phase and also check against the data that they're gonna send you. Since you will be noting in paper, I would recommend also to use certain shortcuts and bullet points and not to write down everything. In this way, you will have time to interact with the interviewee. In some cases, we do the interview in twos. So you would have two people. One would be taking notes, detailed notes, and the other one would be engaging with the interviewee. For better understanding during the interview, you might try to draw certain relations and check them with the interviewee. By relations here, we may mean, for example, the organizational chart or how the production is organized or maybe how the sales are organized. And in this way, by drawing something and asking the interview to have a look at and comment on that, you will see whether you have understood them in a proper manner and whether there aren't any things that are lost in translation. Remember that those people usually using certain specific language and terms that you might not always be aware of. So drawing and showing those drawings to the interviewee during the interview may help you understand and communicate with him. I would also check the consistency and integrity of the data. So since you will be noting certain numbers, confirm with the interviewee the data if any discrepancies during the interview appear. So for example, if he tells you in one sentence that he has a 100 employee and then in another sentence that he has a 50, check that and see what he means. He might not actually be wrong, but he might be using a different point of reference. Maybe he meant in the first example the total number of employees, and in the second example he was talking about the permanent employees and the rest is simply seasonal workers. I would also advise you to later on transfer the notes to computer. So as we said, the suggested way to take notes is to do it in a notebook and paper and pens. And once you get to the office at the very end of the day, you should transfer all the notes to the computer. First of all, in this way, they will be put in a manner that will be easy to find later on. I would recommend to transfer notes to the computer at the end of the day. In this way, you can check your notes and see whether they make sense. And also, they will be more durable and easy to find later on. In this way, you can also use your notes for other projects that you're going to do in the future. And finally, I would take photos, shoot movies during the interview of things you see. This is especially true when you are talking about the issues related with production, supply chain. This also works if you're talking with sales guys and marketing guys because they are showing you certain products, certain reports. You not always can take them with you, but you can take a photo of that and later on analyze that. So that's in short. As you can see, there are some things that you may consider during notes taking. Now let's have a look at an example of such a note that we took using the things we have mentioned here.